Are you anxious about setting new goals, new resolutions, whether it's the new year or just any time, because there's this lagging doubt in the back of your mind that you don't really believe that you'll be able to keep the resolutions? If that feels like you, then I've got 7 tips that will help you be more certain and more likely to keep these new resolutions. Hello, Dale Majors here, and welcome to another video. And remember, if you want to get more of what you want, set a target and take action towards it. The first thing you can do is to subscribe and click the bell, and you'll be on your way. And make sure to stick around to the end. I'm going to share a story about how about 5 years ago, I made 5 major changes in my life that I actually got to stick. All right, so tip 1 is to realize that things do not change overnight. I actually read a comment in my Facebook group this morning that talked about how this person was consuming self-help content all the time, but taking no action. And while we definitely want to take action, even the simple act of consuming something that helps change our thoughts is going to help propel us down the road. But it's helpful to realize that a lot of these changes won't happen overnight. Tip 2 is to take a look back 12 months and look at how you were actually different. And for many of us, it's kind of depressing to look back because we look back and say, you know, I'm not really much different today than I was 12 months ago. But the way that that can be powerful, and the reason it's powerful, is that if you can just realize that even a small change, had you made a small change a year ago, instead of wanting to make a bunch of big changes, and you kept it, you would actually be different. So think about that based on where you are and how much you're currently changing, and be a little more willing to make smaller changes. All right, tip 3 is to focus on the result, not the tactic. So many times we think about New Year's resolutions or the new me and I'm going to change, and we think about things like I'm going to start going to the gym, or I'm going to eat fewer donuts, or I'm going to eat less carbs. All of those things sound miserable, where that's not really what we want. No one wants to eat fewer donuts if you love donuts. But what we want is a healthier physique. We want to feel more energy. We want to have more muscle. So focus more on the result. Tip 4 is to think about how you are motivated. We're all motivated by different things and in different ways. And I guarantee that you've had times where you were extremely motivated, and you've also had times where you couldn't get out of bed. And that may be extreme on either side, but there are times when you had high energy and low energy. I want you to think back to the times when you had high energy and think about what existed. Why? Why was it that you had high energy? Let me share with you a story. When I was 21, I had high energy because I was starting a business, and I actually knew how to grow the business. I had it. If I would wake up earlier and list more parts, I immediately made more money. It was a very simple action plan that made me money. It was an action plan I believed in. To learn more about motivation, I've got another video that I'll include in the link to my Masterclass where I talk about motivation and the motivation gap. To learn more about motivation, I actually created a 5-day series about creating new resolutions that I'll link to in the description, and it talks a lot about how it is that we're motivated and how you can create conditions that will motivate you. Tip 5 is to make your plan believable. When I was teaching, I wasn't really teaching him, but when my baby was learning to crawl at about 6 months or however old he was, if we put a red ball right in front of him, 5 inches from his fingers, he would crawl to it and get it. But if we put it 5 feet out, he wouldn't crawl. You couldn't get him to move. And I think we're very similar. If we have a plan that we actually believe in, then we're going to be willing to do the work to get there. But if we don't believe in it, then we're going to be very unwilling to kind of crawl forward those 5 feet to get it. So make sure your plan is believable. Tip 6 is to share your resolutions with trusted friends. We gain a lot as we talk about our problems and our goals and whatever with people that have a different perspective. Just be sure that those people are rooting for you, they care about you, they love you, so they can help you go in the right direction. Tip 7 is to tap into your best self. Have you ever had times where you just felt really good about your prospects? You were positive, you were confident, you really had a high vision of who you could be? You want to make your plans from that version of yourself. All right, so I promised you a bonus about how 5 years ago I made all these changes. And this actually happened in 2014. I was on a summer trip, and everything, I'd been reading all of these things, and I'd been working on myself, but there were still a lot of things that I wasn't doing consistently. I don't know if you've ever felt that way. I finally decided that I was going to bring my expectations down just a little bit and make some of the goals and the changes smaller, but start immediately. So I decided I'd wake up early every morning at 5 a.m. instead of 6 a.m. and that during that hour, I would write in my journal. I was going to do a little bit of exercise. I was going to start studying French on Duolingo. I was going to start reading my scriptures. And what else? There was one more thing that I was going to do. Dang, it might only be 4 things. Did I lie? But write in my journal every day. And I've been able to keep consistent with those things for 5 years. Oh, and play the piano. I started playing a song on the piano every single day. That change happened because I'd wanted that for myself first, and then I started all of these things small. I'll actually link to another video below that talk about 10 different habits that you can do that are all small. So if you're looking for ideas on resolutions to begin, then be sure to check out that video. That's it for the video today. If you're new to the channel and liked what you saw, then subscribe and ring the bell, and you'll get content like this 5 days a week. Thank you so much, and I will see you on the next video.